Good morning, y'all. I'm out here with Buckshot this morning, and we have Buckshot. And then in here, we have Flossie and her calf. So the update on the calves, so far we have 3. Red Cow had hers, and then April had hers. And then on Friday evening, late Friday evening, Flossie had her calf. So I don't know if you guys can see him very well right now. There he is. Right there. Flossie's not a big fan of Buckshot being this close. Buckshot, it's only him and Flossie over here right now, and he really does not like being alone. He is not a loner at all. So all day, every day, he just stands over by this gate, like keeping company with Flossie. But Flossie is okay with being alone, so she's not a huge fan of Buckshot being over here, but he just likes to hang out and have some company. And Flossie's kind of grumpy towards him. But there's the calf. You guys can see it there. It is our only bull calf so far. We have 2 heifers and then this little guy, and they're all doing very well. We brought him and Flossie over here to stay in this animal barn because we will be milking Flossie very soon. You have to wait a few days after they calf before you start milking them, but she's gonna get started milking very soon. And then we have our other 2 milk cows, Bossy and Dossie, moved over to the barn because they're not milking right now. Dossie will get bred. Bossy's already bred, and we kind of keep them in rotation that we can have fresh milk all year long. So that's the update on that little situation, what's going on. And then Buckshot is just following me around. He tries to be all tough, but he does not like being alone. He likes to have a buddy. So, yeah, don't you? We just got done getting pig chores done for the day, and now the next job that we're working on is going to be getting a hay bale out of the creek. So if you remember back this May when we had all of that flooding, it was a very sudden flash flood. The creek went from being extremely low to looking like the Mississippi River in like an hour, and it did go down pretty quickly, but what happened was it washed a bunch of hay bales all down the creek. So washed a bunch of the neighbors' hay bales all down the creek, and the one ended up drifting onto the bank and just staying there. So it's still down there on the south bank, and we don't want it to just sit there and rot forever or possibly wash down the creek and just stay in the creek in the future. So we're gonna go down here and get it out. We've got some chains and cable, and we got the 27. We're gonna come down here and get it out, and it's not gonna be good for feeding, but it can be used for compost or something. So that's the next project for today. We'll see how it goes, see what it looks like when we get down here and try to get this thing out of the creek. Here we are. Come over here and see what the hay bale looks like. There it is. We're gonna try to pull it across and get it up here enough that we can get it with the spears on the tractor. Now we just hope that that makes it to the hog house in one piece. Get the mower unhooked from the 44 right now. As you can see, some of the corn that's like up here on the side hill, it's getting really dry already. Some of it's still pretty green, but it's drying down quickly. Trying to hook this thing up, and we were jacking it up and the jack just gave way and slipped. So we had a block under and everything, but we're having to hook it up using a different method this time. There we go. Got the trailer hooked up, 27 is in there. We are moving, we have this pile, it's like old bedding and manure, and that's just built up over the years. So we're gonna get all that put onto the dump trailer. That's gonna go over to the big compost pile at the hog house. So we're gonna get that moved over there. It will be used over there, and that's what Papa's gonna be working on. So we've just been kind of moving some equipment around. We got this auger hooked up here. We got that trailer hooked up. The jack just gave way when we were hooking up the trailer, which we had a block under and everything, but you have to be aware of things like that, because quite often, no matter what job you're doing, there's something that could go wrong and it can get very dangerous very quickly. So yes, we had a block under it though, so it wasn't too bad, and we got it lifted up and hooked up, and now Papa can just get in here with the 27 and load all of that onto the trailer. Dad is heading off to the hog houses with the first load. Good morning, y'all. Today we are getting the planter put away for the year so that we can start working towards getting harvest equipment ready to go. So we brought it around here, I want to say last week, and we got the boxes cleaned out. There were still beans in the planter from when we had put it away from planting season. We got those cleaned out. We got the setting switched back to corn, so it would be ready to go for next planting season when we get it out. There are a few little repairs that need to be done before it's like actually ready to go for the field next planting season, but we're gonna get those figured out next spring, end of winter, when we start planting prep. Now we're getting very close to harvest, so we need to start getting harvest equipment ready. So we got the boxes put back on this morning. We're gonna get it put away. We need to get, not exactly sure how we're gonna do it, but we got to get figured out to where the planter is packed away because it's not going to be used again until next spring. The combine needs to get moved out here where it's more accessible because it's going to start being in season with harvest coming up. So we might have to move some stuff around, but we're also going to be putting the sprayer away for the year since it is done until next year as well. So gonna get some stuff kind of finished up here, and then we will be packing away the spring equipment and being prepared to get the harvest equipment ready to go. Okay, we got the planter unhooked from the tractor as far as hydraulic lines and all that stuff goes. So there is a bunch of, see, all these lines and hoses and cords that all goes and hooks up to the tractor so that everything on the planter can be monitored from the cab. So we got all the monitors and auto steer out of the cab, and then we got everything unhooked. So all this is back here, and now all we have to do, we got these jacks drop down, we just unhook it here and then set it down. It will unhook and planter will be put away for the year. So
I was going to show you this. Weaver, I tell you, we get probably half a dozen emails a week, some weeks, asking us, hey, you want to feature our products, security cameras, lighting systems, this and that. And Weaver always sends us a list of like a dozen things that you want to feature this in your channel. And we've gotten to the point where we don't like to feature a lot of products. We don't want to just become a commercial. But then they say, hey, we got this kit of impact sockets. I was like, yeah, we use impact sockets. So you're not supposed to impact on chrome. And sometimes you see guys impacting on chrome because chrome will shatter and bust easier and it cracks. It's not as tough. But then it has a tendency to splatter when it shatters. That's bad. So you impact on black. So they said, you want to try this? I said, absolutely. We didn't have a set of impact metrics. So we'll link this down below, but this is Weaver's impact sockets. It remains to be seen how tough they are, but we'll test them out. But impacts are nice because they're 6-point, and we had no metric impacts. So I said that'd be something we really would use, and we're going to give it a good test. If it ends up being a bummer, we'll tell you. But the reason I like Weaver, their motto is half the price. Tough tools, half price. I have a nice set of impacts in here, right here. This is my nicer quality Stanley impacts, and I like to take care of tools. But sometimes working in farming, especially like hogs, I like tools that I don't mind if I rough them up or even lose them. We're going to be working over 8 foot of liquid manure. If this drops down, if one of those drop down in there, I lose sleep at night. But you know, if I have a big set and it's replaceable and it is half the price but still tough, I don't mind having that as part of the business. So you'll be seeing us use this over there, replacing some gate posts. We'll show you how to replace these gate posts in a hog house. We've got a way we do it that's pretty slick, and we'll show you. But you'll be seeing us use these. We'll feature these some more. I'm not going to give you too much of a commercial, but Abby, I'll link it down below. It's got all the way up to 1 1/4 inch, which is really nice, 1/2 inch, and then 32 millimeter, but it's not deep well, but it's still 6-point, 1/2 inch. Then it's got we don't even have 3/8, but it's got the adapter here and stuff. So it's a really complete set of impact sockets, which we've never had before. So hope you don't mind us featuring it, but it is something that I'm pretty impressed with it so far, and I'm anxious that I get to use this and not take into the hog house my good stuff. So it's affordable enough you can use it in a hog house. So you'll see this around in weeks to come. Okay, we're gonna show you our snapping turtles. We got, hey, let me grab one. Okay, you guys see that? Okay, there's 24 little baby snapping turtles in here. We started it with 28 eggs, let's see, it's last probably June maybe. I came down here and we saw a snap. We were starting to mow this dam, and there was this mama snapping turtle right there, and I knew what she was doing, laying eggs. And so I came back and I thought, I don't know, what should we do? Because I went back, and technically it's illegal for me to mess with the snapping turtle eggs, to move them. And I thought, you know what? It comes to a point where these laws are absolutely ridiculous. This is my pond, and that mama snapping turtle is right there in the road. So it would have been legal for me, and actually the essence of the law would be for me to just act like she doesn't exist, which that would have entailed me either running over her with a tractor tire or sending her through the mower. Okay, and then I guess that she would have had 28 eggs in the ground, because she started with 28 eggs in the ground, which was poor stupid snapping turtle put them right here in the road. We did get dry, there's cracks, and it would have been an absolute 100% mortality. That means 0 would have made it. I guarantee you 0 would have made it. So the law says I had to stand by and run over that mama snapping turtle, or let all the 28 of those eggs perish. And the estimates is mortality in the wild for snapping turtles is 2%. That means 2 eggs out of 100 makes it to juvenile, which beyond baby stage. And I got to thinking, you know what? I've got every right, God-given right, dominion over animals to take care of these little turtles if I want to. Some people don't care about snapping turtles. Some people might have ran over it on purpose, but she wasn't going to move. We walked right up to her. I seen what she was doing. She was like a goose on a nest, or protecting her young, such as she does as a turtle, and she wasn't going to move. Had I continued with the tractor and the mower, she would have happily sacrificed her life through a mower or tractor. And the law says that's technically what you're supposed to do. No. So I stopped. I let her get finished. She moved on. She covered them up. I went back about a day later and I dug out every single one of those eggs. And I took them up and I made them I buried them in an ice cream bucket. And it takes 75 to 120 days to hatch for these turtles. So I kept them in my house at 72 degrees and buried in dirt for, it took about 85 days. Is that about what it took? About 85 days. And they started hatching out. And they wouldn't have even made it to hatchling stage here. But so we've had them alive and doing pretty decent. We let them absorb their egg sacs, the yolk. And so 24 hatched and 24 are still alive. There was 2 or 3 bad ones, and I accidentally busted one while I was checking on them 3 weeks ago, because I didn't want a bunch of rotten eggs. But as I was digging one up, I busted the skin and I saw it was almost fully developed and we was going to have some turtles. So I messed one up, and then 24 out of the other 27 survived. And here they are. Look at them down there with all their little bitty heads sticking up out of the water. See them? Don't be in the light, Liza. Cute little things. See? So we hatched them out, and they're still young enough to have survival instincts. We've brought them down here. And by the way, if the DNR starts giving me issues, I'm going to tell you guys, and let y'all tell them what you think of their stupid rules. But anyways, I brought them right back down to where she laid them, and we're going to introduce them correctly into this water. We're going to, they won't survive if they don't absorb their egg sacs. So we made sure they've all absorbed the egg sacs. They've all, we've kept them as kind of essentially a wild environment as they can, and now they're about a week and a half old, and we're going to get them introduced slowly into our pond and give them a chance to succeed. So we're gonna move them down here on a rock, get them staying warm. We waited. The reason it's been real cold, that's another thing. They wouldn't have survived had they hatched. From all the times the tractors ran over this and dehydrated the soil and cracks the size of your hand on this dam all summer, had they survived that, which they wouldn't have, it's been like 46 at night, and it's been like 70 for a high. They're not going to survive that in a pond right away. It just ain't going to work. That's why there's 2% mortality. So that's why it takes 4 clutches to get 2 survivors. Well, we're going to have 24 out of 28 here. We're much, much better. So we're going to move them down here, acclimate them carefully to the water. We got 3 90-degree days coming. And give them every chance they can to survive. Not just to say, just to rebel against the law, but because I have an obligation as a Christian to do the best I can for God's creation. That's what we're doing, whether we like snapping turtles or not. By the way, they're really cute. We had them in the house for a few days. They stink. You would not believe what 24 little teeny tiny silver dollar sized turtles can do. Smell like a sewer. Oh, I'm right over here and stink. But they can stink up the pond, I guess. Dude. And I'm swimming.
Big water now, buddy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That one came back and got on. Whoa, 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 I'm not a rock.
Oh, look at that one. Bye. Abby, get over there.
Look at him, he got up over here.
Abby, there's one over there. Look at him. Out there in the water. Good morning, y'all. We are loading pigs out this morning. So yesterday when we fixed those sort gate posts, that is because the pigs are finally big enough. They are probably about 280, 290 pounds, getting close to 300 pounds right now. So it is time to start selling them. We have 2 loads going out this morning. They sorted them yesterday. So if you saw pigs with like a pink line down their back, yesterday when we were in the hog houses, those are the ones that are getting sold. So the guy who kind of manages the pigs for the people that own the pigs, he came in yesterday and sorted out the ones they want sold. So we're selling the biggest ones, and we have 2 loads of them going out this morning. So we have a crew that's coming in and actually doing the loading and sorting. They sorted yesterday and they're working on getting them loaded right now. So you guys can see that, and yeah, they're getting very big now, and we're gonna start getting these hog houses emptied out. So we're taking 1 load out of each building over here at Papa's and Granny's hog houses right now, and then our hog house probably maybe next week. I think he was talking about taking a load out. So we're gonna get these buildings cleaned out fairly quickly here, and then we will be restarting the process all over again. Okay, the loading is finished now. We got 2 semis loaded, 1 out of each hog house here. The first load out is usually the most difficult one because you got to go into the pens and get them opened up, and the hog house is packed full. But we got first load out of each houses. I didn't get much footage of loading. Actually, I don't think I got any footage, so I'm very sorry. I was in the buildings helping to keep pigs moved up to the front so they could load. And then we had a crew here helping to load as well. So I did not get much footage because it's just difficult to have a camera in the hog house when I'm trying to work. But I'll try to do better about getting footage of loading in the future. We have at least 3 more loads going out next week. One of them will be the first load out of hog house over at our house. So got plenty of more loading coming up. Right now we're just doing a few extra chores in the hog houses, making sure everything's set back up. You can see we got all the pens opened back up, and got all the pigs. When they sort, they close off these gates right there and then keep all the ones that were loading up front, and the rest can be pinned in the back. But we got them all opened up now, so yeah, we'll be loading some more of these guys out next week.